So in this video, we're going to be factoring quadratic expression when a is not equal to 1. So that coefficient right here is different than 1. So this method, we're just going to use it when that number is not 1, right? So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to multiply the leading coefficient, the quadratic coefficient, times the constant term. So in this case, this equals to negative 90k squared. So again, I'm multiplying this one, the leading coefficient, the quadratic terms times the uh, constant term. So that's negative 90k squared. Now I'm going to find two numbers that you multiply and give you negative 90k squared, and you subtract and give you 9. So again, two numbers that you multiply and give you 90 squared, negative 90k squared, and you subtract and give you 9. So those numbers in this case are 15k and 6k, right? Again, those two numbers have to multiply and give you negative 90, so that means that they have to be positive and negative, so they have to be opposite. And when you subtract them, they have to be positive, so that means that 15 is going to be positive and 6 is going to be negative, right? So now I'm going to bring down those numbers that I multiplied at the beginning, so negative 18 here and 5k over here and 5k squared over here, right? So now I'm going to group those first two terms, and I'm going to group the second two terms, right? I'm going to find a common factor. My common factor between 5k squared and 15k is 5k. So I'm taking out that common factor, right? So that means that I have k plus 3. My common factor over here is negative 6, so I have minus 6, and I have k plus 3, right? Now I'm going to substitute any variables that you want. I'm going to use a for k plus 3, right? So now I'm going to have 5k a minus 6a. So what I'm doing is that I'm substituting a for k plus 3, right? Now, as you can see, my a is a common factor right here. So that means that I can factor out that a. And I have 5k minus 6, right? And now just what I'm going to do in this step next is that I'm going to put back in that k plus 3 here. So my factorization of that expression is if k plus 3 times 5k minus 6. So again, I'm going to multiply the first one, the constant, the quadratic terms of the constant. This equals to 189 r squared, right? Now I'm going to find two numbers, so you multiply and give you 189, and you add and give you 34. Those two numbers are 27r and 7r, right? Both of them are positive because they have to multiply to give you a positive number and add and give you a positive number, right? Now I'm bringing down those two numbers, so 3r squared plus 63. I'm going to group those two, and I'm going to group those two at the end. Common factor here is 3r, so I have r plus 9. Common factor on the second one is 7, so I have r plus 9, right? So a, r plus 9 equals r point of 9, so I have 3r times a plus 7 times a. Factoring out the a, so factoring out the a, so I have 3r plus 7, right? And now I'm going to put back my r plus 9. That's the factorization of that expression. So again, 7x squared times negative 12 is negative 84x squared, right? So two numbers that you multiply and give you 84, and you subtract and give you 14, or give you 8, sorry, is 14x and 6x, right? This is minus, this is positive, because when you subtract them, it has to be a positive. So that means that the larger of the two is going to be positive. Now I'm just bringing down my terms right there. I'm going to group the first two terms and the second two terms. So 7x, I have x plus 2. And now when this term is negative, this is important, right? When this term is negative, this common factor over here is going to be always negative. Right? It's going to be always negative, so I can cancel out and have that x positive. Right? Now, I can go back and use substitution, or now you can see directly that x plus 2 is a common factor. So right here, I can just take out that common factor, right? And I'm going to have 7x minus 6. Okay, so again, I'm going to start by multiplying 2 times 24. That's negative 48, 8 squared. Two numbers that you multiply and give you 48, and you subtract and give you 13, or negative 13, are 16a and 3a, right? They have to be negative when you subtract them, so that means that this is negative, this is positive. So minus 24, I'm bringing down the 24, I'm bringing down the 2, right? And I'm grouping again. So my common factor here is 2a, so I have a minus 8. My common factor in the second parenthesis is 3, so I have a minus 8. And now I have a minus 8 times 2a plus 3. The last one. This one is easier for you always to have that quadratic term being positive. So my first step is that I'm going to factor out that negative. So now I'm going to do exactly the same inside of here. Okay, so 108p squared. Two numbers that you multiply and give you 108, and you add and give you 56 are 54p and 2p. I'm bringing down to 12 plus 12. This is plus 9p squared. And don't forget that negative that we factor out, right? So now, inside of here, again, I'm grouping the first two terms, the second two terms. 9p, so I have p plus 6, now plus 2, p plus 6, right? So negative p plus 6 times 9p plus 2. And that's it for this lesson. May the force be with you.